Hello, everybody. Welcome to Colorway Wednesday, episode number 10. Today we have a very special episode for World Recycling Day, and we have a very special guest with us, Rainbow the Recycler herself. If you don't live in Oklahoma, you may not know who I'm talking about, but that's because you're missing out. Lauren, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. Yes, my name is Lauren originally, but I have multi-personalities of fun, and my environmental personality is Rainbow the Recycler. And pretty much what I do now is I go out and educate kids what goes into the recycling bins. I do glitter tattoos and talk to people about recycling. I also am doing some advocating for legislative legislative bill about battery stewardship, which is really about recovery and recycling of batteries and a safer way to do it. And just pretty much, I just try to have fun, but I'm also an artist. And so I've merged kind of like my art and environmental side to create Rainbow the Recycler. Yay.
As you may have noticed, we have a coloring sheet this week that looks oddly similar to Rainbow the Recycler's shirt. This is the Rainbow the Recycler logo. Would you like to talk about that a little bit before we get into the rest of it?
Yeah, well, this kind of came about the past couple of years. Before, I used to just kind of wear a rainbow shirt. My brother had sent me a cape in 2008 that had a recycling symbol on it and it was green. And so for funsies, I went as Rainbow the Recycler in 2008 for Halloween. And that's kind of how Rainbow the Recycler was birthed. And over the years, I've just kind of had different shirts and different looks with paired with the cape. And so a couple of years ago, I decided to really develop kind of a fun little superhero look to it. And I used, her name was Dawn Tree. She helped me develop the logo. And so I can't take all the credit because she definitely had the style that I liked. And so we got it on paper and then I started coloring it and now I'm going to color it today in a whole different way, which I'm excited. So, but I do have coloring sheets that I give out to the kids that they can take and color if they want to, too. Yay.
Which is why you're the perfect guest for this show.
Yes.
So, with that being said, today I'm going to be coloring with this big old tub of crayons from my childhood.
Oh
I
my
probably used a
goodness.
bunch of these when I was like 3 years old. I have two older siblings. These weren't all me. But I'm home for spring break, so I thought it'd be fun to bring out something that typically doesn't get used in spirit of recycling while it's still using it for its traditional use. I thought it'd be fun to bring it back out and give them some new life. What about you?
Yes. Well, I am kind of going through a neon medium phase, also known as fluorescent. Fluorescent now kind of was invented in the 1960s, and that was the name of it. But this generation now calls it neon mostly. So I am doing a mixed media of different. I have some acrylic paint pens in here.
Ooh.
This is a neon coloring pencil that I'm doing the background with. I also have some neon crowns from my little kids' classes. And so, yeah, pretty much it's going to be, I do have a little Sharpie in here, black. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. But just pretty much what I've been working on lately, because I also have a black light studio and or UV light as they're calling it. We used to call it black light, but now the new terminology is UV. And so mine is going to have some UV um, look to it, which is bright. This is kind of more regular colors, and I did the original coloring of that in marker. So, but I am down to do whatever colors. I do like to do the blue in the middle
Mm-hmm.
and then the green as the recycling symbol. And then purple is kind of like it goes blue purple, but I also like the blue to be the more dominant color in my piece because I'm originally from Hominy, Oklahoma, and our colors were purple and white. And um, purple was always kind of like my favorite color as a kid. Now I would have to say it's rainbow, but purple, I can't. Purple was the main color. The only thing is that with neons, purple has a tendency to not show up. So, what I may have to do is oh, this acrylic one may work a little bit better, which is what I'm going to do it with. But
Mm-hmm.
blues and purples have a tendency to be the not so bright, and sometimes they don't even shine. And you really need to pair something with it, a brighter color with it, to see them. And in neon, generally the brightest color is yellow. And I think the next brightest color would probably be orange. But um, yellows and greens can have a tendency to look like each other
Mm-hmm.
when you turn on the black light. So in this one, my green is in the middle, and my yellow is going to be on that berry. So I separated them. But I do kind of like the yellow over here where it's at because you can turn it into the sun too. Like just like if you're getting creative and having fun with it, like you can turn it into the sun.
Yeah.
So the yellow's at the top. But the purple is also so where you see the purple is also what is kind of like the Oklahoma or the Tulsa flag uses this that purple design in it. And so I'm from Tulsa, so that's why I like that this little design to be in here for it. Because to me it kind of represents Tulsa. So the color purple represents hominy, and then the look represents Tulsa, and then at the very top you have the rainbow. And the reason why I, I chose Rainbow or go by Rainbow, my artistic name is Rainbow Girl, is because when I started doing art, I started dyeing. Actually, I started dyeing my hair first. And the more I started dyeing my hair, the more I started doing art. And then I just was like, this was like in 1999, 2000 time period. And all we had was like manic panic. Um, but I started dyeing my hair all the colors of the rainbow and neon rainbow at that. So that when I went out to the clubs, you could just like see my rainbow hair everywhere. But people started calling me Rainbow from that. And then Rainbow Girl kind of came from an art dealer who I was hanging out with at the time. And that's kind of how I got Rainbow Girl. And then Rainbow, of course, whenever I decided to 2008, much later, when I'm Rainbow the Recycler, I just, changed it to Rainbow. But I also have Miss Rainbow when I'm working with the kids. I have Rainbowy, which is my David Bowie meets Rainbow persona. I wear a lot of galaxy stuff in that month, which is generally January. Um, but I just kind of try to have fun with the rainbow name and use of it. I'm gonna see if I like this purple first before I get committed to this, because I might have to go to. Um, See, it's like that's the other thing, you can't do a dark purple with the purples with the neon. So I'm gonna go with the neon, and it's gonna be okay.
It'll
Um,
look great.
yeah. So that's kind of where I got the names, or some of the names.
Yeah. So, for those of you watching, we were connected through the Oklahoma Recycling Association. Thank you, Ellen. Shout out. Um, so, one of the things that made you just like the perfect guest for this is because I know we were talking a bit about this like off camera before recording, but my platform is all about arts education and just talking about the way creative outlets can help people. And sometimes people don't know about exactly what can be a creative outlet and how beneficial those can be. Um, so from what I've seen and heard, because of course, I did my research, this seems to be something you advocate for as well. Would you mind sharing a little bit about how you use creative outlets and how art has helped you through different times in life?
Yeah, so, whenever I started dyeing my hair and started doing the art, it's really started to heal my life. Um, just I was sad a lot, or just, I mean, I had a really, tragic thing happen to me, and really, once art hit my life, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And I really did go all in. And over the next couple of years, like, it really was just, I woke up every day and art was life, I mean, it still is. But over the years, it has also, I moved to New York City in 2001, right before the World Trade Center happened. And um, by 2015, I was teaching art. And it wasn't really something that I went looking for. It was something that found me. And it started with 2 to 4 year olds. And I had no idea how to do it. I just kind of winged it. And that was in 2005. I had started face painting in 2014, and that was kind of really put me working with people in the public. Whereas, before, my art was more kind of in my studio, or I did do makeup. I loved doing makeup too in the late 90s, especially with MAC makeup. I had an addiction to it. But, the art on people's faces was a new kind of expression. And then teaching really kind of brought me into teaching art. And I didn't go to school. I was a self-taught artist, but as the years go by, I continue to teach. I continue to kind of like get these settings where I'm working with kids. And along comes Miss Rainbow. And now I have an alternative high school class. I have a 55 and older class. And I like this summer, I have camps with the 5 to 6 year olds. And I've just really learned that, it's healing, it's educational, it's inspiring, like you get all of these things when you do art. And so sometimes I don't get to work on my own art as much because I'm doing a lot of projects with the community.
Mhm.
But I kind of made peace with that because I was like, well, you're also helping create stuff with them that produces work. And so it's still a production when you're, teaching um, art. And I love it. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I can have like a day where I work with, have 5 art classes, and then I get home and it's just, I feel alive, and I have also worked with survivors of suicide. I've worked with sexual and domestic abuse survivors. And so it really had, to me, has been healing for me, but also kind of seeing it heal for other people too. That's what I do religiously, like it's my life. So,
That's beautiful. I love that. Especially because like art has a way of finding people, but there's no way for it to find people unless people are sharing it. And it's just
yeah,
such a community builder, and it's just beautiful, like getting to see all of the different things you've done over the last several years, just activity after activity with so many groups of people. Like there's so much variety there. It's
I know
incredible.
it is hard for me to remember. Like my memory is like sometimes people come up to me and they're like, hi, hi. And I'm just like, hi, like I remember them, but I can't always find their names now.
Hmm.
Like I used to be pretty good at that where I could remember people, but I just now I'm, like last month I had a whole school which was over 500 kids, and so
Yeah.
paired with my other classes and face painting, it's just like, it's getting to where I'm just like, I'm doing my best. So,
Sometimes it's all we can do as artists.
exactly. Hey, I'm
Exactly.
almost done with this purple.
Yay.
I
It's
was worried it was going to go out, but I definitely need to get a new purple, but it's
real.
been, I think I got it. There's,
Cute. Oh, that's
there's
looking so
ours.
good. Oh my gosh.
How's yours looking?
Mine, I'm definitely gonna want to like after this go get like a Sharpie or something to add more detailing inside of it.
Oh, look
So I
at
got so
you.
far.
Yeah.
My Zoom
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
like to
why I'm like the
focus.
Sharpie is in there so I can do
Mm-hmm.
some um
No, you said
also
that, and I was like,
red
"Ooh, you're onto something."
red can also be one of those colors that it's hard to find in neon,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I have one in the crayon. I think I found one in the crayon. But it's
Ooh.
hard to find them as much. Wait, now I have to no, pink. I need to do pink. See? Now it'll be a little easier. So I'm gonna go with a colored pencil pink and then a crown. Oh, this is fun. See, afterwards, I'll put it on. I'll take it. I'll send you a picture of it under the black light.
Yes, please. That would be so cool. Ah,
Yes.
I love that. My dad is a DJ. Um,
Uh-huh.
and so like he has been for like the last 10 years or so. And I'm 22, so that's like half of my life. So I remember like when he like first started, he would have like the black lights up in our back room because that was like really big in proms and stuff like that at the time. And I
Yes.
would just
What year was this?
Hmm.
What year
Ooh,
was it?
probably.
Like,
I think he started in 2011.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
But it was very prominent, and I remember like anytime he would break those out, I'd be like, "What am I wearing? I need to see what it looks like under this light." The important things.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. That's
All
what I
right.
do face painting now for it. So it's like,
Yes.
oh, it looks like I'm frozen. Am I frozen on your side?
No, you're not.
Okay. Let me see how this red. See, I'm worried this red is going to look too much. I'm going to go for it. No, it's
Speaking of
not doing
face
that.
painting, I have a less like loaded question for you. How does one
Okay.
go into learning how to face paint? Because I know that's something I've wanted to learn how to do, but I'm like, where do you even start?
So, back in the day, I started in New York City. I was actually just painting, and I met a uh, face painting artist named Rainbow Heart, and he was like, "Oh, you should do, like face painting." And
Yeah.
I, you know what? I think I'm just gonna have to go a little darker. Um, and he was like, "I'll teach you how." And he came to my apartment in New York and taught me how to do it on um, like a head, which is kind of how they taught you back then to do it on like a head that you can
Hmm.
do. And he made me like a roaming palette thing, and that's how I kind of got started. Um, and that was in 2004. And then I just stayed with it year after year. Like I did, started off slow. But now there's conferences like I just got back from a conference where you can learn from other artists that you might see like on like several of the probably like TikTok and YouTube stars are there teaching that you see. Um, and there's more of a like channel for it, like more of let me use this one. A lot more outlets for it now than there was when I started. And we used to like we used to kind of do things with um acrylic, which is you don't do you don't do things with acrylic anymore. But that's kind of how, if we did a body art piece, we would use all acrylics because it was more fluidy.
Hmm.
But now we have like I stayed with it, and it's like anything in life. If you stay consistent, you get better at it and you do it more. And now I pretty much train people who want to learn, and then I have a team, and then I've had clients. I've just built up a clientele over the past 20 something years.
Hmm.
And so I now like will teach it or help people who want to learn, kind of get into it and stuff. So, but it's really thanks to YouTube. I mean, you can do a lot now because you
Hmm.
can go, watch people do it. I don't think it's the same as like like I love going to the conventions and learning it live.
Hmm.
Because there can be just like so much information, and there's like 4 or 5 classes a day, and so I try to take do a little bit at a time. But I'm a face painter. I just learned how to do henna. I have airbrush, um, all the things. Like I try to stay up on all the different ways of using art to take to the people, even
Yeah.
doing like live art stuff. Which, by the way, we're the whole art healing kind of thing. I got asked to do a live art piece with this organization called, it was the event's called Shining the Light, but it's for Brain Injury Foundation here. And they just opened a new facility, which we didn't have one. If you had a brain injury, you had to go to Dallas. But at their galas, they had me do live collaborated pieces, and I did them with um, brain injury survivors, their caretakers, volunteers, doctors, like everybody that's kind of in that, and then developed a whole piece using other people. Um, like I kind of get the idea for it, start the idea, but people evolve it over time.
That's
So
incredible.
live collaborative pieces are something that I like to do as well. And I
Hmm.
feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I literally probably go home and cry after each one because it was just so, I hear all the stories, and I just got to get to be involved with it. And so it is definitely feels very healing to put a piece together that's all these people's emotions and feelings. And and the brain injury survivor could be something as simple as a box, but they weren't able to make that box, and they've gone through therapy and stuff, and so now they can make a box. And it's just, I've done it with this one that's behind me right now is a collaborative piece, which I don't know, is it mine's frozen. Hold on.
You're still moving
Can
for
you,
me, if that helps at all.
okay. All right. So yeah, like this one is a collaborated piece that I'm finishing up that I did. So I used, and I'm done here.
Yes.
It's very bright. I couldn't find a good red because it's just the way it is, so I used a darker pink. I did like a light pink, a dark pink, and then orange and yellow.
It turned out so
So,
cute.
yes.
Here's mine.
Yay.
It won't focus. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll email you a picture later.
Okay. Yes. Well, I'll take a picture of this too and send it to you under the black light as well.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be so fun. All right. Do you have time for like one more question?
Yes.
Okay. So, on your website, rainbowlandarts.com, you have a section called Artist Empowerment. I want to know like what inspired you to use your website to lift up other artists and just anyone who's browsing out of curiosity.
I really wanted to do that to kind of create it as an educational tool,
Hmm.
to kind of um, a lot of artists can come into this pretty new and not know the ropes, and artists are very vulnerable, and their people, organizations, people will take advantage of them. And I just kind of wanted to create an artist empowerment area to help them maybe navigate, paperwork, what's expected of them, and things of that nature. Um, because, I've been in this industry for 22 years, like the entertainment arts industry. And, a lot of nonprofits ask us to work for free. And a lot of those nonprofits, like higher up people, are making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and asking us to work for free. And so I do not think that that is fair. And this happens all across the US, but here we had an organization collapse, and it really kind of put me onto the advocating for artists. I mean, I advocate for recycling, but I also advocate for artists, and the artist empowerment thing is just kind of part of that.
I love it. I thought it was so fun whenever I was like browsing your website the other day to like come up with questions and I saw that. I was like, that's so unique. Like the Vector Comet is like, hey, here's what we do, but also here's something we can do to help you just for free.
Yes.
And I love
And
that.
that's what part of my, Rainbow Land Arts, to me, part of it is the booking the talent. It's also advocating for artists, not arts, because I have learned through this process over the past 3 years that there is a difference between arts and artist. Like an arts
Mm-hmm.
organization is going to advocate for an arts organization. They are not going to advocate for artists. And so to me, it was a big kind of eye opener
Mm-hmm.
that we don't have anybody advocating for us, and that also it makes us vulnerable because people do try to take advantage of us. And in some situations, there I have several stories going in different areas where people will just not pay artists. They'll just not pay them, or
Mm-hmm.
do a contract, or so for me, I wanted to make my business also be about artists getting more rights and having more of a voice, and equality.
Yeah.
Like why is so and so making $400,000 a year and coming to us wanting us to work for free? Like, I have a kit that I spent thousands of dollars putting together. Like, I've been doing face painting for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have value, like, and I want
Yeah.
to be compensated for that value. And so that's kind of where, as we were developing the page, because Okchati wrote it with me as well, who helps me with a lot of things. And we were just kind of like, hey, let's give them some tools too, so if they
Mm-hmm.
do browse, they can see, here's what you need, kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. My gosh. Ah, there's so many good things. Okay. Well,
Yay.
I think with that, we have colored our way through today.
Yay. And I'm
Ah,
going to send you maybe you can add the neon part at the end or something, but I'll have to go in
yes.
my black studio and do it.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has truly been just such a delight to have you. And
yay.
yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm glad your mission is, art, sparking the art, and
Oh yeah.
and we also Wednesday, it's Wednesday, and so
Mhm.
it's Global Recycling Day too. So, way to hone in both of them.
Oh gosh, yeah. Because I mean, if I have two passions, I might as well combine them, right?
Yes,
But
that's what I'm here for.
exactly. Okay.
Yay.
Well, thank you
All
so
right.
much for everything.
You
And
too.
bye bye.
Bye. Thank